What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Lioness Lair. We have got a victory Sunday today. It's the Queen of the Prowl, and joining me is Lady Lionor, of course. How you doing?
I'm awesome, Val. How are you?
And we've got who we got in the chat already? Paul Rose, Michael Huck. Welcome, everyone.
All right. I'm unfrozen now. I'm not sure if Val is or not. Hold on. Let me send her a message. See, even her internet is excited over a Lions victory. Hey, we're
Hey,
back.
sorry guys. Sorry guys, my internet is acting up. So if it goes crazy, I apologize. I don't know what's going on in Michigan today, but my internet's been crazy all day long, so I'm sorry, y'all. We froze up on y'all. So we might freeze up again. I'm just letting you know. It's been one of those days today. Technology is not my friend today. So, but anyway, so we've got this game to talk about here. So let's just get into what's going on. What do you have? What is your insights? We'll talk about the offense first.
Well, it's week 13, and Lions fans are happy. I'm trying to remember the last time I felt like this. 2014? 2011? It's been a while. Coming into this game, I was really curious about what the team was going to look like. They were really evenly matched up with the Jags, both teams that haven't looked great but are on an upward trajectory. And I really thought the Lions were a lot better than this Jags team, and they won 3 in a row and then lost against the Bills. I wasn't so upset about the loss to the Bills, but really what they did in this game was going to determine how I felt about last game. If they came out and lost to the Jags after a loss to the Bills, I might have wondered if, the 3 game win streak was a bit of a fluke. We kicked that team's ass today. It was not a fluke. This is a good Lions team. They are hot right now. This team could win out. I don't think they will, but they're capable of winning out. This has become a really good team.
Yeah, see, I had predicted on Friday that the Lions would win this game very easily, and what was my score? What it was like 38-24. So that was my prediction, and that came pretty close.
Yeah, that was pretty close.
And I think Coach Jones had 41 points for the Lions, so 41-24. So the Jags didn't do as good as we thought they would do, which is a good thing. But I knew that this was going to be a blowout. The Jags aren't as good as people want to claim them to be.
Yeah, no, and I don't think they're a good team, but I still had questions about whether or not we were a good team. I know we've beat some teams, but really the only game we looked good in all 3 phases of the game was against the Giants. The other 2 games against both the Packers and the Bears, it came down to a play here or a play there. Those were very, very close games. I'm excited. I'm optimistic. In December,
Well,
I
and
don't
here's
really
the
know how to feel about this.
and here's the interesting thing, because I want to know where this stands after today. But before the game started, now remember, y'all, I was the only one who called this that the Lions would be in position for a wild card spot. Okay, right now they are, as of before this game started, they were in the 10th spot in the NFC for a wild card spot.
They should be 9th spot. Hold on. Where are the Falcons? Falcons lost today. Yeah, so we should be ahead of the Falcons now. So we should be the 9th spot because the Giants and the Commies tied.
Mm-hmm.
So we
So
didn't come up on either one of them. But we are now above the Falcons for the wild card.
So looking at the rest of the schedule for the Lions, I only see about 2, maybe 3 games tops that are going to be questionable, that could go either way. But so if they were able to conquer those, they're in a very, very good position to be in the wild card spot.
Yeah, I think we are a better team than the Jets, Panthers, and Bears. I actually think we're a better team right now than the Packers, but we play them in Lambeau, which is, it's just always a tall task, you know, to go into Lambeau and beat the Packers. And we have the Vikings next week, which I'm still not convinced they're as good as their record, but they are the most complete team, certainly in the division.
Now we're playing. You guys, the Lions are playing them at home or away?
Minnesota.
Yeah,
No.
and that's no, at home.
Yeah, we play them at home.
Which, for me, that's going to give them a better advantage, because if it was away, I would be. Oof. It's still going to be tough. Yeah, I believe they are at home. The Lions are at home for that game.
Yeah, Vikings at Lions. Yeah, we play at home. So I don't know. I that certainly gives us an advantage. Winning out is actually possible.
It's still going to be tough, but
yeah, for sure.
That's one of the two that I see. That's going.
What's the other one?
Who else is left? The Bill. Wait, I don't know who else.
We play Vikings, Jets, Panthers, Bears, Packers. And the only ones at home are the Vikings and the Bears.
Bears might be questionable, or the Packers, depending on where.
You think the Bears are going to come into Ford Field and beat us?
It's going to be a tough. It could go either way.
Yeah, I don't think so. If we were playing in Soldier Field, maybe, just because the field's so bad, but just as we predicted at the beginning, this is not a good Bears team, and this is a better Lions team than we thought. I would be really, really surprised if the Bears gave us a hard time this game. Maybe not. We'll see.
Maybe we'll see. I'm going to be at that game, so I'm going to be putting my little Val magic on that. I'm going to be putting some little magic up in there.
So if we lose, everyone's going to blame you.
I might be sneaking into the locker room and, putting some stuff in the drinks and stuff, or something. I don't know. We'll see. Oh.
All right. Yeah. This game. Lions offense. What'd you think of Goff today?
Actually, Goff did pretty good today. I did not want the passing game, but he did actually do some deep passes today, which was surprising.
Shark made a pretty impressive catch over the middle. I mean, he was like up in the air, contorting his body, and caught the ball back behind him. It wasn't a great pass, but it was a heck of a catch by Shark.
Yeah, and then there was that Shark challenge too.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was incomplete. I got to tell you, I thought it touched the ground. I thought that there was not indisputable visual evidence to overturn it. I figured whatever the call on the field was would stand. I was surprised.
My problem is I thought it was a catch, but I thought that the only way that they might get away with saying it wasn't was because of the way he was handling the ball when he went down.
Hmm.
It was a lot of bobbling. He did kind of secure it really good at the last second. So, but that could have been,
Yeah.
interpreted as not a catch because of the way he was manhandling it. So but it was a catch when he hit the ground. It was just because sometimes they've got those little rules in the NFL that just kind of like the Calvin Johnson rule.
Oh, we still don't know what a catch is. I mean, that catch last week, the Hunter Henry one in the Patriots Vikings game. No, there's still going to be debate after every questionable catch because the rule still isn't clear. But I'm not going to complain about it going in our favor because it's gone against us so many times that, hey, this season, if they want calls to go the Lions' way, I'm not going to complain. We're due.
The one thing that I have to say with the referees, right, was there was a lot of calls that they did not call against the Jags that they should have. I seen at least two late hits on Goff. I seen, and then there was another one that they did not do. And what was it? But there was where they had jumped.
Right. Yeah, it should have been a false start. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was by former Lions Agnew that jumped. They got away with it.
I saw Penei Sewell holding all day long, and he didn't get called once. Actually, Jonah Jackson got called for that hold in the fourth quarter, and he looked really confused. I think they called the wrong number. I think they meant to call 53, and they called 73 because Sewell was holding. Jonah Jackson was not.
Yeah.
So I saw some people complaining about that holding call. I think it was the right call. I just think they called out the wrong player.
Right. The one of the very interesting things was that the Jags apparently thought they were in Texas or something because Houston, they had a problem. Okay, with Trevor Lawrence. Okay, I thought the Lions' motto was biting kneecaps, not twisting kneecaps. But apparently, you got to do what you got to do, I guess.
He came right back in. I was surprised because when he went down, it looked like it could have been something serious. But yeah, I mean, the line was getting enough pressure. The line got enough pressure in his face all day long that he was forced to get rid of it quickly. But getting rid of it quickly, the routes weren't developed downfield, so he couldn't throw it downfield. He was forced to throw underneath, and he had to thread it between defenders, or because coverage was so good, he just threw it away. I was really, really impressed. A lot of it had to do with the line on both sides. I mean, our offense was really efficient because of the O-line, and they couldn't get anything going offensively on the Jaguars side because of our D-line.
And another thing that the Lions were doing well today was forcing the fumbles and batting away the balls and being aggressive, and Kaminsky with his big old lion paw. Yeah.
I'm surprised that's allowed because it does seem to give him an advantage. His hand is twice the size of a normal person's. Yeah, I know in the off season they emphasize that a lot. Forcing fumbles, getting the turnovers, and then we didn't see it the first half of the season at all. These past few games, it's been really good. Deshaun Elliott got his today. He forced the fumble, and Alex Anzalone came up with it.
And that was the very first drive. And then you had Kaminsky doing it. There was another fumble later on. And so, yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was going on. So, and they didn't have a punt, and Goff did not get sacked the whole game.
Nope. He didn't get sacked. This is actually our first home game since 1971 that we have not punted. And Goff had 340 passing yards today. That is his second best as a Lion. So yeah, he had a good day. Everybody had a good day. I was putting my notes together trying to figure out sort of the studs and duds of the game. And I couldn't think of a lot of bad players today. we'll get there toward the end. But
yeah, because Michael Huck, when we were on the LNU chat, was like, I didn't see any balled on players. I got one. I will reveal it at the end of the show, but I got one. And you might not agree with me, but I got one because I was paying close attention. It wasn't obvious. It wasn't bad, but you had to look for it to see it. But anyway, Anzalone.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I have been happy with him all season. And I know he hasn't been the best. He has a lot of misses, but he's had a lot more hits than in past seasons. This game today, he didn't do anything flashy, but I would say this is his most consistent game today. So yeah, I was really excited for him. He played excellent coverage. He played the run really well. He had that great tackle for loss on Travis Etienne on a 3rd and 8. And actually that was their it forced a 3 and out. And that was one of only 2 Jags drives in the 4th quarter. So I won't say it won us the game because we were far enough ahead at that point that even if they'd scored there, they still wouldn't have been able to come back. But yeah, Anzalone with another solid game.
Michael Huck is like, she's a hater. If you have to dig that deep, then there's no ball on players. I didn't dig deep. You just have to pay attention to certain players. Certain players I was watching because I want to evaluate their performance. That's the only reason why I noticed it, okay? I wasn't digging for problems. I was looking for the people that I could say were had the least effective performance. I mean, we're evaluating the game, so you kind of got to do that, okay? You can call me a hater if you want to, but I gotta give you the good and the bad, okay? Yeah, speaking of which, Will Harris, he decided to show up and play football. Did he figure it out now?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he didn't have a great day, but he's Will Harris. So for him, listen, what he did today is the most you can ask out of him. Just don't F up, right? And he came through a couple times. He had a handful of tackles, and he was good in coverage. He was fine. Nothing flashy, but
you had Williams balling out the way he usually does. You had Badgley doing what he does with the field
let's go back to this offense because this offense today was rolling. Like their 3rd down conversion rate, I think they were 8 for 12 on 3rd down. This was their highest 3rd down conversion percentage. Or I'm sorry, it was the 5th best 3rd down conversion percentage since 1940 today. That's pretty darn good. Also, they had 31 first downs. That is tied for the 4th most first downs in a Lions game since 1940 also. And Jamal set another record today. He scored his 14th touchdown, which ties Barry Sanders' best season. And it's only week 13. He still has 5 games to go. So he will surpass Barry Sanders' best season. The other thing he did is today was his 8th touchdown from inside the 1. And the previous record for that was Billy Sims. He had 7 in 1980. Today was Jamal Williams' 8th. So he passed him today. Jamal Williams, man, setting records every week.
Absolutely.
Amon-Ra, this kid, I hope he's here for the next decade. Uh-oh, right. We're freezing.
Am I back now?
You're back.
Okay. It froze for a second. I saw the little circle of death. I'm like, don't you do it.
Yeah.
Not today, Satan. Not today. Okay. I swear the Lions Kingdom is trying to shut my mouth up apparently today because I'm not allowed to talk today. But yeah, there was a lot of things that I wasn't happy with though with it. Amon St. Brown the way he was running around the field on some plays. Like, where are you going, bro? Where are you going?
I mean,
but his performance was effective overall.
He had 11 catches on 12 targets for 114 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also, the guy is a third down conversion machine. So it wasn't just that fact that he was making plays, it was when he was making them. He was making them in times that had huge impacts on the game. He was targeted on third down 4 different times. He converted all 4 times. I mean, just to have someone that reliable all season long and all year last year, that when you watch good teams, when you watch the Bills and the Chiefs, and it's 3rd and 7, you kind of just assume they're going to get it because they're good teams. I love the Lions, but every time we're in that position, I just assume we're not going to get there. And I assumed that coming in today because old habits die hard. And every single time, Amon-Ra, man, he is just Mr. Reliable. I'm so happy we have this kid on our team.
Yeah, he was doing really well. I mean, I was blinded by his yellow shoes, but you know, I was like, wait. It took me a minute.
Cleats for a cause.
It was cleats for a cause. That it took me a minute to realize that was what was going on. But yeah, there was a lot of things. There were some players that we normally don't get to hear too much doing anything that were making big plays. You know, Justin Jackson was having himself a game today. Jacobs was doing some things. So Swift was doing some things, but yeah, here and there. He could be a little bit more effective in my case.
Yeah, I was surprised our run game in general wasn't more effective. Now, it's hard to say that because 2 of our touchdowns were rushing touchdowns, one from Williams and one from Swift. But really, I think we only rushed for 100 yards total as a team. Swift had 62, Williams had 35. I won't say they shut us down rushing because they certainly didn't, and we were really effective running in short yardage situations, which is when we used it. But yeah, I kind of thought Swift is no longer on a pitch count. He had 14 carries today, and then he was also targeted 6 times in the run game, or in the passing game. So he's back to sort of his normal count. You expect him to get, somewhere around 15 touches on the ground, and he did get 14 today. This is the first time since, week 3? He's had more than 5 touches on the ground. So, and I feel like that cutting, and she's gone. All right, guys, we'll be back.
Sorry, my internet is me today. Okay.
You know why this is happening. It's because you straight up admitted you were trying to curse the Lions out of a win when we played the Bears. You brought this on yourself.
It's okay. It's one of those days, It's going to happen tonight, y'all. So it comes back on. I don't know what's going on with my internet, but you guys just be patient with us. Just be patient with me because my internet's just said, you know what? We ain't gonna work today. We just don't feel like it today. Oh yeah. So yeah. So where were we? Where were we before I got so rudely interrupted by my Wi-Fi?
Oh, we were talking about the running backs, and where I was going with it was I felt like Swift no longer being on a pitch count has cut into Jackson's touches because on the ground today he only had 1 carry. Now he contributed a little bit in the passing game, but he had 1 carry for 4 yards today, and he's going to have to start flashing. He did fine when Swift wasn't in. It was great to have him in there backing up Jamal Williams. But with Swift back, if he wants to make the team and make the roster next year, he's really going to have to show something the next few games. Because with Swift and Williams, you don't necessarily need Justin Jackson for anything more than special teams.
Absolutely. Now, Michael Huck is saying, JMO played, so Val lost the bet. Can't wait to see her just her. I did not lose the bet. The bet is still going. The regulations for this bet is he has to play an entire game.
Yeah, I think he was only in for like 5 or 6 offensive snaps.
He has to play an entire game. So that was a stipulation I put in this bet because I knew he would be in there for like a game, like a player or two. No, you can't do that. You have to play the game. Okay, so if the bet is the Grandizer, the bet is this: JMO has to play entire game. He cannot play a partial game or play a few plays and get injured and come out. He has to play an entire game. If he plays an entire game before the end of the year, I have to wear a JMO shirt on Free for All Friday. If he doesn't, Kurt Steele has to wear a Bears cap on a Free for All Friday.
His punishment is so much worse than yours. Because JMO's amazing. There's nothing wrong with wearing a JMO shirt, but he has to wear a division rival's hat. I don't know. This doesn't seem like a fair punishment.
Well, I have to wear JMO. But, I got a couple bets going on. I had a Kirby Joseph bet. I done forgot about what the Kirby Joseph bet was. But, Kirby Joseph has to be named get an award at the end of the year. Okay, that's what that was. So if he gets an award at the end of the year, then I have to wear some Kirby Joseph thing. But whatever.
So. That I would like to see. Yes.
Yeah. So I got 2 bets going on, at the same time. So JMO's debut. We might as well, since we're on the subject, talk about it.
Yep. I'll talk about it. Yeah, so he played about 6 offensive snaps today. He was only targeted once. He didn't catch it. Honestly, it was just great coverage. It was not a poorly thrown ball. Goff put it a little behind him, which is where he had to put it because of the coverage. And it was just good coverage. I mean, you're just not always going to get those. But what he was really, really good at the times I saw him on the field was as a decoy in the run game. He had to pull defensive backs back into the backfield, and it opened up the middle of the field in the run game. So they use Chark like that a lot. And I think we're going to see JMO's snap count slowly go up over the next few weeks, but I expect to see him more in the run game than the pass game until he's named the starter, which may not even happen this season.
And I don't think it should, but my question was, why are we placing him in and saying we're going to place him as a gunner and only play him a few snaps? When that was the plan, you're only going to play him a few snaps. That doesn't make any.
No, I mean, I get they want to sort of acclimate him to the NFL environment, get his feet wet a little bit. I'm glad they didn't play him very much. I hope they don't. If the chips all fall our way and we win out over the next few weeks, and it actually looks like we have a chance at the playoffs going into the last few weeks, then if you want to put him out there, risk him injuring himself again, okay, I'm okay with it. But if you really have him on this team for next year, keep him on a pitch count. Don't get him injured. That is my biggest fear, is that after all this waiting, he's going to get injured and be out another year. She frozen again. Okay, let's try this again.
Okay, part 53. Part 53 of this. Okay.
Hey,
Oh.
how's it going?
Take 55. No.
Okay, so sticking with the offense here. Oh, Shark, real quick. He has not been super efficient this season. I know people have been criticizing his lack of productivity. He had a decent game today. I think this is his best game of the season. You know, he knows JMO's coming in now. I don't know if I'd say JMO's coming for his job because JMO can play either side of the field. It seems likely that you'd want Chark on the left and JMO on the right, that he would maybe replace Josh Reynolds. But Josh Reynolds has been pretty reliable himself. He could move to the left with JMO to the right. So I don't know. Chark's in here on a 1-year prove-it deal. I can see him sort of in the mindset of, I need to step up now the next 5 games, or I might not be back here next year. And I don't know if you saw, but after the game, Campbell actually gave Chark the game ball today.
Oh,
for
really?
having his best game. Yeah. Which I won't say he was the best player, but I was glad to see that. Certainly, he has contributed more than most people see. He hasn't been flashy on the stat sheet, but he does a lot as far as pulling the defense, especially the back 7, in the direction that we want them to go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he did. He did step up to actually, to get those deep passes in, which he has been struggling with. So, do I name him as like the top guy of the day? No.
Yeah. No.
But he did do a lot to make an impact for today.
Yeah, he had 98 yards, which is his highest since 2020. And I'm trying to see. Yeah, he had 98 yards on 5 catches. So I mean, it's almost 20 yards per catch. It's pretty good. Still, he didn't have the same kind of day as Amon-Ra, but I was happy for him.
Yeah, and that Amon-Ra where he got hit in that midsection.
Yeah.
Ooh,
right when it happened, it looked like, based on where he got hit, I thought maybe he just got the wind knocked out of him. And he was down for a while. And then he ended up coming back in. So I still think it really looked like he just got hit right in that one spot where maybe he just couldn't catch his breath.
He got hit right. Well, for me, it looks like he got hit right in the diaphragm. So, I mean, when you get hit like that, you're just like,
yeah.
Yeah, you can't breathe for nothing. So, it made him talk to Jesus one-on-one for a minute, but
Yeah. Well, then for all the criticism of Decker this year, I thought this was Decker's best game of the year. There were a couple times, for the most part, Goff worked out of a clean pocket. A couple times guys got through. It was almost always on the right. I know Panay led a couple guys through. But for the most part, the offensive line as a whole, and Decker in particular, had a phenomenal day. Pass protection and the run game.
Yeah, as long as Decker's not messing it up with some holding call, I mean, we're good. Just do your.
And then
business.
Can we shout out the Bears? I want to say the Bears' old kicker, but he was really only with you guys for one game. Michael Badgley, after missing his first field goal last week, he went 4 for 4 today, and 3 of the 4 were over 40 yards. So good for him. He hit from 45, 47, 38, and 44. He actually, if you count his extra points, Michael Badgley scored 16 points today. The entire Jags offense only scored 14. Our kicker outscored their entire team. Yeah, that's how dominant we were today.
See, that's where I help y'all out. I give you the tools to win these games.
Thank you. Thank you for your cast-off kicker. Goodness. And you're welcome for Tim Boyle, by the way.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Sounds like a fair trade. Tim Boyle for a kicker. I like it.
As long as Tim Boyle doesn't ever see the field.
Oh, I so hope he does. I will turn off the Lions game and watch the Bears game if Tim Boyle is starting at quarterback.
You know what would make me like 50 Shades of tick the hell off? Because I will do if I go to this damn game.
If Tim Boyle plays against the Lions. Yes. Oh, please, football gods, please make it happen.
And if Tim Boyle hits that field, you might just catch me on a live. Like, Tim, let me see your phone real quick. Look.
I really, really hope it happens.
I'm about to go down on this field and get arrested right now.
I mean, if you hit him hard enough, he'll probably just limp off the field and the third stringer will come in. Or he is the third stringer.
He is the third stringer.
Who would even come in after him? You'd have like a running back or a tight end in there throwing the football around.
Oh, Lord, no.
All right, last note on the offense. The Lions have put up 30 or more points 6 times this season, and that is more than any other team in the NFL. Yeah.
How sad is that?
Considering our record, that does not seem possible. It doesn't seem possible.
Yeah. Okay.
We're also the only team to put up at least 40 twice.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I thought. I'm like, oh, that's why I said they were going to be in the 30s, at least the high 30s in a scoring game, because I knew that this was the way it was going to be. But do we need a new rookie quarterback? We're going to be quiet about that for a minute. Anywho,
let's just enjoy the win and not talk about the draft today.
Oh, okay. So did we cover the defense now well enough?
Not really.
Do we want to cover the defense well enough?
Not really. Yeah, sure.
Secondary was not my friend today.
They did fine.
The defense itself of the up front, yeah.
Yeah, what now? Oh. I like the expression you just froze on. Oh, you're kind of back.
Yep. I'm saying the backfield, the secondary, I was not necessarily that thrilled with. But
there were a couple times they got burned. I mean, you're always going to have that because they're not going to win them all, right? For the most part, I thought they did okay. Christian Kirk got away from them a little bit. I just think talent-wise, his talent level is so far above any of our defensive backs' talent level that was bound to happen. But there were a lot of times where Trevor Lawrence just had to throw it away because there was no one open. Coverage was that good. And it was the linebackers were dropping into coverage a lot too, and they had a lot to do with it. So yeah, I mean, overall, the defense was fine. They did what they needed to do. They held them to 14 points.
Yeah,
I think that has the fact that the Jags aren't very good has a little to do with it. It wasn't all our awesome defense. But.
Yeah, because Trevor Lawrence was doing some things. I was like, "What are you doing, boy? What are you doing in this game?" But he
looked like last year Trevor Lawrence, and we've seen flashes of that. Like in general, he's been more comfortable this year. He has more weapons this year. He has a better line. Obviously, it's a more comfortable environment, better coaching. All those things have been better, and we've seen him really up and down. And he's been a little more up than down, especially over this past 4 or 5 game stretch. Yeah, he just sort of looked like down Trevor Lawrence today. Which, it's going to happen. He's a rookie. He still needs experience. He still has to figure it out.
But, yeah. So there really was not a whole lot other than the secondary could have been a little bit better in what they were doing in far as coverage. But I love the celebration at the end. Y'all see all that stuff at the end with the Lions there, and the celebration, how they were celebrating, and each one guy was tearing it up a little bit.
I missed that.
Yeah, and Goff was going to everybody, making sure everybody was having a good time. Like, yeah, that was pretty fun to kind of watch. So
good. All right, well, let me go over a few of these comparison stats. Just because normally, even in games we lose, these stats are normally pretty comparable. I was really shocked. We looked dominant. We looked dominant watching the game on TV. The score made it look dominant, and we looked dominant on paper. I mean, this was just complete domination in all three phases, and I can't remember the last time I've said that about this team. First downs. Lions had 31, Jags had 14. Passing, that's 21 passing. They had 9 passing. We had 8 running. They had 5 running. Third down conversions. We were 8 for 12. They were 3 for 12 on third down conversion. I mean, that's a Lions stat right there. Like, that's the kind of number we had last year. We did not go for it on fourth down once. And there were a couple opportunities where I'm thinking, oh, this is Dan Campbell. The Dan Campbell of 6 weeks ago would have gone for it in these spots. This Dan Campbell gets field goal. And guess what? We ended up with a whole bunch more points because he took the points instead of going for it on fourth and whatever on the 30-yard line.
Right.
So yeah, they
finally learned his lesson. I'm hoping he finally.
It took long enough for him to figure that shit out.
Well, sometimes when it's all brawn, there's little brains sometimes. But.
So yeah, they went for it on fourth down 4 times. They actually made it 3 of the 4. Total yardage, we had 437 yards to their 266. Passing yards, we had 337 to their 171. I'm trying to think what any other stats that stood out.
There were no fourth down conversions today that either for the Lions.
We didn't have any. No, we didn't go for it on fourth at all. No. Time of possession. We had the ball 36 minutes and 50 seconds, almost 37 minutes. That is a dominant time of possession. They had it for 23 minutes, 10 seconds. And it shows because red zone attempts, we were in the red zone 4 times and we scored all 4 times. Those are touchdowns, not field goals. They were only in the red zone twice all game. And they scored once. I mean, you can't have numbers like that. Even just the number of plays, we kept them off the field so much. We ran 74 plays to their 55. I mean, that's a huge, huge disparity in play count. Normally it's, you're both between 60 and 65. Yeah, we dominated this game from start to finish. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. This doesn't happen to the Lions. I don't even know what to think about this right now.
Yeah, especially for a game that's focused on the pass a little bit more than the rush, which I always say run the damn ball. But which they did quite a bit. But they took the extra shots that I didn't really want them to make, but they actually did something with Goff. Did something with them. So I'm not going to complain so much about it. I really wouldn't have liked to have seen it, but No,
he took the shots and it was the right call, and it worked.
So I don't know what they've been doing in the background to work on that, but apparently they've been making improvements in that area. So let's hope that continues with Goff. And I'd like to know what the Goff haters think now.
So, and I don't want to talk draft crap, but let's just throw out a hypothetical. Let's say Goff plays how he did today, or similar to how he did today for the rest of the season. Is that enough to allow him to play out his contract next year?
I think he will play out his contract at the end. I don't see a reason for him not to. Because and I'm talking from even the GM perspective. Okay, you say we'll get rid of his contract. You're still going to owe stuff. Write it out. Just write this thing out to the very end of it. Be done with it. Be done. You know what I'm saying? Don't give him an extension. Get your quarterback by year 2 years from now, not this coming draft. But that's my opinion. I don't have a problem with the Lions getting a backup quarterback. I think that's necessary. But the call for a franchise quarterback is pretty sketchy at this point.
I just don't want to be in a situation where Goff's in his last year. He's probably not coming back next year, the year after. and we draft a guy and now we have to make him the starter day one. I would like to sit someone for at least half a season behind an experienced quarterback. At least let them learn the quarterback room and learn the playbook and, sort of acclimate themselves to the NFL.
True, but the ones that I'm seeing coming out of this draft are not really that level overall. And so I don't know what the next class is. I mean, there's been a look at, I haven't looked at the guys that are coming up that maybe be able to come up following and like in the 24 draft. So there's probably some prospects there, but the ones that I've looked at for this one, just I don't see the capabilities of them beyond a second string.
I don't really care who they take. I want them to take somebody, and it doesn't even have to be in the first round, or it can be with your second first round pick. Take someone who your expectation is that they're a backup, but if you sit them for a year and let them develop, maybe they have the potential. That's what I would hope for out of it. Again, I've said it a whole bunch of times. I clearly struggle here. A bunch of these really good quarterbacks that came out of college weren't even on my radar. So as far as, Josh Allen I didn't like Josh Allen coming out of college. So what do I know?
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to Josh Allen either, so I don't.
The next superstar, the quarterback that comes out of this draft and becomes a superstar is going to be some kid that we don't even know his name right now. It's going to be like some kid drafted in the 3rd round who's not on anyone's list.
Yeah, there's way too much time for that, and who knows who's going to come out. Some surprise name that, that nobody knows. The Lions kind of surprised me last year because I always make fun of it a little bit because they always draft somebody with the Ukabuka name. You can't pronounce that thing, and they didn't do it. But it's coming. There's going to be an Ukabuka this year. I guarantee it. It's got to be eventually, and it's not making fun of racial thing. It's not, you guys. It's just the way the name is pronounced. Like nobody can say it. Okay. It is not against because us here. Look. She's Native American. I'm part Native American and got all kinds of other things going on. And we've got African American men and white people. And look, we're inclusive here. We all a family. We are not making fun of anybody's race. Okay.
Their names are all phonetic, and they're so complex. My favorite thing to do is to learn how to say them perfectly. So that when I'm talking to some random football fan at a bar and I say Halapulivati Vaitai correctly the first time after drinking 4 beers, man, I get applause every time because no one can say their names right.
I know. I had to teach everybody how to say Melanzangwu.
Yeah. Everyone still says Anwuzurike wrong. Even Lions fans, everyone says Anzurike. They leave the woo out of it. And I can't figure out why.
Because it just doesn't roll off the tongue.
It's definitely spelled Anwuzurike.
It's Anwuzurike. Yeah. Yeah. For somebody like me who can't talk anyway, it's just forget that mess. So, I'm really good with names, but some of them, Look, I think there was a guy on the Jags today. I literally just I can't. His name was Beat Hard.
Yes. So he's the backup quarterback and his name is Bethard, but I actually put a note in there. I'm going to call this dude Beat Hard forever. That is all I'm ever going to call him.
And I was like,
Beat Hard.
I was like, there is no way that's Beat Hard.
And then he was sitting next to Trevor Lawrence.
Is that how it is? It's
Bethard. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But don't call him that. No, he was sitting next to Lawrence, and it was just Beat Hard Lawrence, and I'm like, he could sit next to anybody, and it would be gold. Yeah, no, I will always call him Beat Hard. No. That's how it's spelled. That's how I'm gonna say it.
If he was on the Green Bay Packers and he was next to Love.
Beat Hard. Yeah.
There are some names that he should not be.
When we get off of here, I'll tell you who I want the Lions to draft and why, and you're going to love it. It has to do with a name.
Brian Stover is trying to set you up, Nicole.
Hold on a second. He might be.
He's trying to set you up.
Dang it! Brian, I wasn't going to say it. I was going to tell Val about it afterwards. Yeah, Michael Penix from Washington. I just think about the headlines you can make with this guy as your quarterback, especially if you win a Super Bowl. You know, stuff about the Lions proving they have the biggest Penix in the league. There's just so much you could do with it. So as far as like a day 2, day 3 guy who sits behind Goff for a year, I want the kid from Washington.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there are just, some names that we get set up with, and then go back and watch some, old Lions on the Prowl thing, and, poor Joseph Dion got hit one day, but, with Mr. Jabril. Yeah, they're just, my goodness.
All right, Mal. Who balled out today?
Okay, we going on balled out. Well, now, one guy deserves it, and you're probably going to name him. But I like to go, when I pick my ball out players, I pick the guys that don't really get that much street cred. But they did their thing today. So my ball out, there are other guys that deserve it more. Not saying there's a couple. But I am going to give it to Justin Jackson.
Okay. Why?
Boyd was doing his thing today. He was showing some passion. He was doing some things. He was doing some moves. I'm going to give it to him. Now, I'm going to honorary mention the kicker, of course, because it's a very... And because I'm not going to name the most obvious. I got to go with somebody we got to show this man some love.
How about you name the guy who you always dump on, so when he actually does something right, he gets the credit?
Well, we can give him some credit.
Like Goff. Goff had the day of his life today.
Look, listen, y'all. As much as I am not really a total diehard Lions fan, I am the one that has been giving Goff the most credit all season long over many, many Lion fans who have been haters and cult of Goff and all of this other stuff. I've been saying this is who he is. Why, you got to understand who he is and sticking up for the man. So I have been sticking up for Goff all season long. Yes, I have. Look back, watch the tape. I got it all on tape. I'll make a whole short of how many times I stuck up for Goff. Okay? But I'm going to give Justin Jackson it today as the ball out. Because I know you're going to name somebody obvious. But
yeah. Well, I'm going to name 2 really obvious people, and then I'm going to tell you my balled on, because it kind of relates to what we're just talking about. So my balled out players, it's got to be Amon-Ra. He had game of his life, and honorable mention is Jared Goff. My balled on player is Justin Jackson.
Oh!
Yeah. Because I said it before, with Swift getting his normal touches, it diminishes his role. He only had 1 carry today for 4 yards. 5 balls went his way in the air game. He only caught 3 of the targets that went his way for 19 yards. He didn't have a horrible day, but he didn't have much production. And with Swift taking his normal snap count back, if you want to earn a spot on this team, you really need to step up and show some stuff. And he didn't have a horrible day, but he didn't show out today either. And if he wants a spot on this team next year, he's going to have to. It was hard because they all played great.
One bad play from the man. He was doing some things on that field today. But
he just didn't have many plays. Because we've watched him really step up the past few weeks, And and listen, I had a hard time picking anybody because nobody was really bad today. I would like to see Justin Jackson on the team next year. And if he doesn't show more production than this over the next 5 weeks, he's not going to be on the team next year. So I hope he steps it up. That's all.
Okay, so we're going to agree to disagree on that one. My bald-on player of the game, Kuda Matata. You got dog game, Akuda Matata. You're slow as hell today. No. He got burnt on about every damn play I watched today.
I don't know about every play.
He got running. No, because I was watching him, and he was all like, "Hey, the legs, I'm trying to catch up. Let me catch you." No, that was just.
Well,
no.
I will say he was, regardless of what he did, he was threatening enough that Trevor Lawrence didn't throw toward him very often. So, yeah, he had like 2 tackles all day. He did not have a productive day.
I don't know if the Kuda was really much of a threat when he can't even catch a man, but because he was running behind his coverage all day long. No, bro. See, I think what the Lions need to do is they need to have Akuda train with J-Mo.
Yeah, I'm thinking J-Mo will be so much faster than him. Akuda won't even get anything out of that. He'll just be chasing after him all practice.
Yeah, but
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Like incentivize Akuda maybe. Like if you can even get this close to J-Mo, you might get a cookie or something. I don't know what Akuda's like reward system would be, but like maybe here's what we do. We take a rope and we tie it around J-Mo's waist and we tie it around Akuda's waist and we just have J-Mo take off with him.
And if he doesn't keep up, he's going to be dragged on the ground.
Right.
I guess that would motivate him.
Something, because Akuda is slow.
Listen, he's slow when you're talking about like 40 speed. Yes, when someone breaks wide open and he just has to sprint to keep up with them, he doesn't do that. But he's fast out of a break. He's really, really agile. He's fast where it counts normally. Now, people can get away from him. If they have good breakaway speed, they can get away from Akuda. So he just needs to make sure they do not get behind him to do that.
Yeah, well, he's getting matched up with guys.
I saw them all get burned today. I mean, Will Harris got burned today. I saw Jerry Jacobs get burned
a
number of times.
I saw Joseph get burned a number of times.
Yep.
It's just like.
But I saw them all do some good things too. When you're one-on-one, when you're playing man coverage like that, you're just not going to win them all.
Well, they weren't winning much of all today with that.
I mean, we held them to 14 points, so they were winning some.
Yeah, I don't know if you were holding them to or they were just like they couldn't figure out what the hell they were doing. But I mean, because I'm going to give credit. I'm going to give credit to the actual line and the defensive backs for them both that. But when it went beyond that, they weren't doing nothing. If those guys up front weren't making that wall, it was over every single time. Every time anybody got past that, it was just like, whee, bye. Send me a postcard. Yeah, it just did not work. All
right. Well, we've got the Vikings coming up next week, and I should have talked to you about this privately, but Val and I have been invited onto Jade's show either Friday or Saturday to do pregame with her, and then she will be on with us next Sunday for the postgame show.
Sweet.
So we will have a guest on next week, and we will be on with a guest next week.
So before we leave, we got to do the score prediction, what we think.
I still think it's high scoring. We're playing at home. I think we win this. I think it's close. 31-30 Lions.
I think this is going to be a battle.
Their defense is bad.
Yeah.
I think both teams are going to score a lot.
Where do I go with this? Okay, I'm gonna say 38-35 Lions.
All right.
I think it's gonna be close. Close.
Close and high scoring. At the very least, it should be exciting.
All right, well, that kind of wraps it up for today, guys. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. Singles Dad Club, hey, how you doing? Tornado, what's up? Guys, check in tomorrow to see what the guys had to say, because the guys are going to have their victory Monday, and who knows what LL is going to do tomorrow. He's been talking some crazy stuff on Facebook today, so we don't know what's going to happen on Victory Monday tomorrow. So make sure y'all check that out tomorrow. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy and celebrate this, celebrate this win. Let's get to the playoffs. Let's go Lions. So, and I will give you the information about, the collaborations with Jade later on in the week, guys. So that stay tuned, and we'll give you all that information as we head into this week. So don't work too hard, play hard, and go Lions. See you next week.
See y'all next week.